Hello everyone, welcome back to Google Earth training. This is tutorial 4, and within this tutorial I'm going to show you how to customize some things in Google Earth depending on your preferences, as well as show you how to measure distances and areas using the ruler tool. So to begin, your options for customization. A lot of what your customization in Google Earth has to do what's displayed here, as well as how you can navigate it. So if you go to your tools, which is in the top left corner, and go to options, you have a Google Earth options. And in the general tab, you can say what should be displayed when you come in. You can change the language. But you can also choose if you want Google Earth to automatically email from a specific account when you wish to export your maps or your data using this function. As far as the navigation tab, the main thing is when you're navigating Google Earth and when you're zooming in, the automatic setting, the default setting is for it to tilt and angle in when you're zooming in or as you zoom in. If you do not want it to do that, you can go to this navigation area here and check do not automatically tilt while zooming. So that's another thing that you can change for your customization. In regards to 3D view, the most pertinent thing that you can use here is you can change how it shows latitude and longitude. If you use latitude and longitude, which is used for the global coordinate system, you can change it to decimal degrees instead of degrees, minutes, seconds. I prefer decimal degrees because that's what I use when I'm creating data for some of my other spatial software programs. But if you're more familiar with UTM, the Universal Transverse Mercator System, you can choose it to display that when you're zooming in, or you can also use the military grid reference system. And if you would prefer, the measurements in the default to be feet or miles or meters or kilometers, you can also change that here. So that's some of the basic customizations that you can do within Google Earth. And as you can see right now, it shows right here imagery from 2015, and it shows latitude and longitude as degrees, minutes, seconds. When I click OK, it now switches it to just the decimal degrees for latitude and longitude. Okay. So I am going to go back and navigate to the Intertribal Council of Arizona to show you how to use the ruler tool. So if I search Intertribal Council of Arizona in North Central, it'll automatically bring me there. And now I am at the Intertribal Council of Arizona. So if I have a question and I want to know what is the distance from the beginning of ITCA's property, of the Intertribal Council of Arizona's property, to the back of the property here, I can measure it using this tool. So this is the ruler tool. And the first option is called line, and it measures distance in a straight line. So I choose the first starting point at here, and then I can drag it all the way to the back of the property, to that fence, and left click again. So left click to start, left click to end. And it's showing that the distance is 13,791 centimeters, which, I grew up in the American system, so I'm not that familiar with centimeters. So I'm going to change it in this drop down. I can change it to a measurement that I'm more familiar with. So I can change it to meters, so it's 137 meters. I can change it to feet, 452 feet, and I can change it to miles, or I could change it to yards. And if you see here in Smoots, that's a little bit of a joke by Google Earth. Smoot is a guy from an Ivy League school in the early 20th century, and a smoot is his height. So one smoot is one height of that guy, which I think was either 5'4" or 5'7". So if you switch it to smoots, that's how many heights of that person. ITCA is, is the distance of that. So I'm going to go back to feet, and that is the line ruler, the line distance option. But if I want to know my walk from the parking lot, for my normal parking space to my office, I can choose the path, and it'll measure more than a straight line. It'll measure multiple points on a path. So I'm going to go ahead and click path. I'm going to clear what I drew right here. I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to start again. So I'm going to left click. I usually park in the back here, and I walk across the parking lot. So I'm just left clicking to trace my path, and then I cut through here, and I go through the front door, under the hallway, or under this overhang, and then my office is about right here. So that distance is about 492 feet, 164 yards, or 150 meters. So if you need to measure a path like this, you're able to do that in Google Earth. But if I want to know the perimeter of something or the area of something, I want to know how large is the Intertribal Council of Arizona property. I can click on Polygon, and I can start in one corner and left click, left click, left click, and then that's it. I can stop once I'm done measuring, and it says my perimeter is 377 meters, or 1.74 acres for the area, and I can change this. I want to know how many feet it is around, or I want to know how many square feet it is, and that'll give me that information. But this is really only as accurate as your as you're measuring, as your ability to place the cursor on. So you see here, I cut out a lot of things here. So I can move it, and then left click again to expand the area, so I get a little bit more accurate of an area. So that is the basics of how you can measure using the ruler tool in ArcMap, and how you can customize some things in ArcMap. Please join me in the next tutorial, where I will show you strategies for managing your data that you will create in ArcMap.